This is RC.
It's your girl K Marie.
Hey Wilk.
It's your boy Black.
Your girl Lady.
And I'm Sirr. And you listening to
2020.
2020.
2020.
2020. 2020.
2020 podcast. 2020. I did that one for you.
Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of A Business Minute. I'm your boy Sirr, and today I got a guest today. Well, I'm invited to the home of author and evangelist Letrisha Richardson-West. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, and how are you?
No complaints on this end. So, Ms. Letrisha, if you could just tell everyone what it is that you do.
I am the founder of Yisemah Ministries. This was something that God gave me roughly about 5 years ago. And I'm at the place now, first of all, God was getting on to me about why haven't you started what I've given you. So now I'm at the place where I felt I was in a better place where I can actually go ahead and start my ministry. And a lot of people ask me, well, what does Yisemah mean? And it means a thirsty, overwhelming desire for either the natural or the hidden knowledge of God. I want to bring people more awareness when it comes to who God is and what His Word entails. So I want us to develop that Yisemah type spirit where we're thirsty, not after the things of God, not after the materialistic things, but where we're thirsty after the spiritual things. The Bible tells us to seek ye first the things of God, the things, and everything else will be added unto you. So that is where Yisemah came from. And my ministry, I really draw broken women. And why do I draw broken women? Because I was a broken woman myself. And had not God been able to reach way down and fix me, I wouldn't be here today. And I thank you for having me.
Oh no, the pleasure's all mine. All right. So if you could just tell us, how long have you been active in the ministry?
I've been active in the ministry, serious about it, about 5 years.
Okay. And usually with ministry and all things that you pursue for a lifetime, there's something that usually inspires you. What inspired you to begin in ministry?
Let me just be honest with you. I grew up in church. I grew up where my grandmother raised my brothers and I after my mom was killed. From the age of 6, I knew how to church because we went to church 7 days a week. If it was 25 hours in a day, we would be in church. So I got tired. If it take all of that, I'm good. I really had got tired of it. We grew up Baptist, and then after my grandfather transitioned to his heavenly home, we went to a holiness church, and that was different because I'm like, you got all these people shouting, what's going on? I didn't understand it. I was in a culture shock, but I began to learn more, not taking anything away from my Baptist roots, but I began to learn more. I couldn't wait to go to church because I was going to see the sister shouting and her wig was going to come out and she was going to pick it back up and start back shouting again. But what got me serious, I have a cousin and I consider her a sister because we both didn't have sisters growing up, so we were close like that. And she was in our cousin's ministry, and she wouldn't try to pull on me because she came on in a little before I did. But when I saw the change in her, I was like, let me go check it out. Let me go check it out for myself. And I went and God began dealing with me. He began to deal with me. And I was like, okay, when He showed me the things that were going to take place in my life, I became interested more. I began to read His Word a lot more. I began to have my own personal relationship versus the relationship that I had to have, because when you go to church in grandmama's house, you go to church, and when she goes, everybody goes.
Right.
So I began to develop my own relationship with God. And when he began to show me that I had value, when he began to show me who I was, you know, I got real serious about that thing. And then that's when I got serious about it.
Okay. So with every journey, there comes obstacles. Were there any obstacles that come to mind that you encountered along the way?
In ministry, and it's sad to say, you deal with those that like to refer to your past. Those that knew you when you were in the world. And they still try to bring it up every time they see you. But the obstacle is, the key is no response. You don't respond, I don't feel like I have to reintroduce you to me every time I come around you. And then you have another obstacle I dealt with was my health. I don't really want to call it an obstacle, because this is a thorn in the side that I have to deal with. You know, I developed asthma 5 years ago, and in 5 years I've been intubated 8 times. You know, but it's nobody but God. Every time that happens, he wants to breathe his ruah, which is his breath, in me. You know, that is another thing that I deal with, because you never know. I never know. Let me tell you something. I had an attack last year in September. I was on my way to go preach. A service. En route, like 20 minutes away, you know, and I began to have an attack. I was right at the hospital. I was trying to go on, okay, I can make it, but you know, you have to use wisdom. And the Spirit of the Lord was saying, get to the hospital. So I had the detour. I had time enough to FaceTime my leader and let him know I couldn't really talk. He could see me. He could see that I was in distress. He didn't know exactly where I was. And then I text, text my fiance at the time, well, my husband at the time, my husband then, and I was like, I said, I'm at the hospital. You know, nobody knew like exactly where, so I guess they got the calling around to see. But my pastor had to preach in my plate, knowing that his spiritual daughter is battling this thing. And you know, that's another obstacle. But with all obstacles, you have to know that that when you are in a storm, when you're in a situation of that sort, you have to look to the hills from which cometh your help. And I knew that I wasn't going anywhere because my purpose hadn't been fulfilled yet. But there are many obstacles that we as women, we as men face in ministry. But you have to understand that as long as you suffer with him, you're going to reign with him. So it makes me know, never mind when there are afflictions that I have to deal with, because I know that there is a greater purpose for it.
All right. Better say it. All right. So my next question is a more of a personal question. With ministry and your personal life, there has to be sort of a balance. So have you managed to find that balance between doing the ministry and your personal life?
No. No. Let me be honest. No, but I'm trying. I promise you I'm trying. On our honeymoon, I'm still trying to work. I'm still trying to sneak and work. I'm trying. It's gotten a lot better. It's gotten a lot better because I promised, I said the vows before everybody. I'm going to be submissive. You know, so I've gotten a lot better. You know, because that's what I've been doing for the past 5 years. It's ministry.
Right.
So it's a process, you know, but you know, I've gotten a lot better. I've gotten a lot better. I think I have.
All right. Yeah, it's an ongoing journey, because for me it's the same thing. I have to plan stuff way in advance, and I've learned about the word miscellaneous quite frequently, because things happen that are out of your control a lot of times.
Yes.
All right. So my next question is kind of a high point question.
Okay.
It's, of all your experiences, you know, through doing ministry over the last 5 years, is there one memory that stands out as the most memorable? Just one moment that kind of is like your favorite moment that you relive sometimes a year?
My initial sermon,
The first one.
the very first one. And I say that because I was nervous. It's all get out. I mean, I had my sermon, I had everything together. I did research, and I was like, okay, I had my points, I had everything together, but God changed it late in the midnight hour. And I was like, Lord, well, you want me to change this? I have so many hours to put this together, okay? This is gonna be all you. But when I say the house was packed, it was packed, and I said, God, this is all you know, and the delivery, the power, the presence of God was all in that place. That is when, and I go back and I watch, and I'm like, Lord, I think I want that back. You know, I go back from time to time and I'll watch it, but that was that defining point. Like, okay, Trisha, you have accepted your call. You know, you have gave God, you've given God an unadulterated, unconditional yes. That was my most memorable moment.
All right. So now, my next question is the inverse of that question. With every high, there's a low. Was that at any point during the ministry that you felt like you wouldn't be successful as you could be? And if so, who or what changed your mind?
I would have to say, you understand being slandered, but you have to be silent. I was always that one. I'ma tell you about yourself. You know, that was me. But when God shuts your mouth, and I'm like, Lord, you got to help me, because I really, the way I feel right now, and I'm very transparent, I want to go all the way off. But that was at my, when that season, that period of time when my name was being slandered, and I had to shut my mouth, because God says, listen, I have people fighting for you. You just have to be quiet. Shut your mouth. I had to have the gift of shut up. That was because I didn't know, because I'm quick to, I was quick to snap, but I had to know how to be quiet. And because I was quiet, that season didn't last long. And some of those same people that did that, they had to come back and apologize.
All right. Hey, prepare us a table. All right. So my next question is one of my favorites. It's not the favorite, but one of my favorites. I say it's probably my second favorite. And I call it the long-term question.
Okay.
So where would you like to see yourself and in the ministry as well? In 1 year, in 3 years, then in 10 years?
Okay. In 1 year, in 1 year, where I would like to see myself in ministry, doing more, for the most part, doing more, not just preaching, but doing more with Yisemah Ministries, doing more outreach, doing more evangelistic work. And when I say evangelistic work, going out, I will go to the communities that nobody wants to go to, and compel those young women to come in. Let me tell you about a man that told me about everything that I ever did. Let me tell you about a man that I didn't have to compromise my body for. I want to find myself doing more of that type of evangelism.
All right.
Now, in 3 years, it's no secret that I married a pastor. And although he doesn't have a church now, you can't take the title of pastor from him. So in 3 years, if we're not in our own ministry, I would like for us to be working towards that. And in 10 years, where would I like to see myself in ministry in 10 years? In 10 years, I'd like to see myself again doing the work of an evangelist, helping my husband push the ministry, doing more out there in it, because the church is not within the four walls. You have to go out. The Great Commission says, go ye therefore and teach all nations. We've got to go out and get the people. I would like to have a home established for those at-risk women. I would like for that to happen. I would like to have a place set aside in ministry to teach them about the things of God, to teach them about just different things, common sense type things, you know. And again, that's what I would like to see myself doing, but it's kind of hard for me to say me when I'm now married to someone else. So I would like for us to work together, to collaborate and work together and work his visions as well as mine. You know, I would like to see those manifest.
All right. Okay. And that leads me to my last question of the interview, and this one is my favorite. Starting out and working on a vision is always a scary task within itself. It comes with its own, as you can listen to this podcast and tell, it comes with its own journeys, hardships, struggles, memories, you know, sleepless nights in some cases. But for that person who has a dream and they're thinking about taking a chance on themselves, what words of encouragement would you have for them?
Focus on what God said and not what you see. That's my thing. Many times we allow our natural eyes to talk us out of the blessings of God. I understand and I know that it is hard to build from the ground up. You have those hiccups, you have those bumps in the road, but the Bible tells us that better is the end of a thing than the beginning. And there's this thing that we've got to go through called the process. In the process is where you are being made. So go through your process, but as you go through your process, grow through. Don't break down before you break through. Amen. I told you I don't want to preach. It's coming on. I feel it. Don't break down before you break through. Focus on what God said and not what you see. And something that helped me was doing affirmations, because I'm telling you, affirmations they work. It took me 3 years to really just to get it together, to write it and push it out there. It took me 3 years because I was like, okay, but God, I'm real transparent in this book. But what are they gonna think? They're gonna talk about me, you know? And I was looking at the physical thing. I wasn't looking at the fact that this book was going to help somebody come out of unforgiveness, come out of promiscuity, come out of homelessness, come out of that relationship that is not good for you. So you've got to focus on what God said and not what you see.
That one hit home. All right. Well, and with that, Miss Letrisha, I do have to ask, if anyone wanted to get in contact with you, whether it be for a word of prayer or just a conversation or just to get your thoughts on any sort of idea, where could they reach you?
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on my personal page, which is Letrisha Richardson-West, spelled Letrisha Richardson-West. Or you can find me under my ministry page, Yisemah Ministries, which is YISEMAH. You can find, and if you haven't liked my ministry page, make sure you like my ministry page. You'll be notified about things that I have coming up. Or you can email me at trisha8480@yahoo.com or call me. I'm always available. My number is 251-307-9520. Call me in regards to ministry.
Ministry.
If you need a word of prayer, if you know, but you know, I'm always that one. I'm easy to get in contact with, and I'm very responsive to my messages.
All right. Now we mentioned earlier that well, you kind of touched on it took you 3 years to write. Do you have any material you'd like to share with us, or any upcoming events that you'd like to discuss?
Okay, well listen, I recently wrote and published my very first of many books called How I Got Over. And in this book, I'm talking about different things that I went throughout life. You know, I was walking in unforgiveness because my father killed my mother. So how did I get out of that? How did I get over what I was dealing with? And I give you scripture because I'm a firm believer. If I'm telling you something, I've got to give you scripture to back it up.
Right.
I have a place in here where you can actually interact with me in the book. You can write down things that you are feeling, things that you are going through. I have scriptures that will help you deal with your issues. I have affirmations and I have prayers that you can speak over your own life. I'm talking about how do I get over the spoken word curses that were spoken over my life. I'm giving you back. I'm giving you I'm very transparent. Everybody can't be transparent and everybody can't handle it, but I'm being very transparent in this book. How do you deal with, it's just different things. At one point in my time, I was homeless. How did I get over that? How did I not stay in that situation? I'm just talking about different things that I dealt with. This book may not be for everybody. The whole book may not be for everybody, but you will find yourself somewhere in this book. And if you're interested in purchasing the book, you can cash at me at $LDR8480. The book is $15. I don't charge shipping. If you live in the Mobile area, you can reach out to me and you can purchase the book. I'll put a personal word in it for you and give it to you. Or you can find it on Amazon.
All right. Well, awesome.
And I'm sorry, next Monday.
All right.
Starting next Monday, on my ministry page, Yisemah Ministry page, I'm going to be doing, I call it Power Up Mondays. Yes, Power Up Mondays. I'm telling you, I love educating. That's what Yisemah is all about. I call it Power Up Mondays. We'll talk, I'll teach, and then we'll have prayer. And that you'll find it on my Facebook page. You can, it's 3 ways that you can connect. You can join me on Periscope at Letrisha Richardson, or you can join me on my ministry page at Yisemah Ministries, or you can join me on my regular page at Letrisha Richardson-West. But that's going to start next Monday at 7 p.m. It will take no longer than an hour unless, you know, the Spirit moves me in a different direction.
Right.
But no longer than an hour.
All right. No, that's definitely intuitive. You know, in this age of technology, you know, a lot of times people work schedules won't allow them to get the praising that they would really like, and that is a good time because usually off work you kind of took your shower, may have eaten something, and you can get your spiritual word in too. So I love that. I love that. So I'll make sure that I actually share your page on the link to this video and the audio as well. So those of you who are listening, you can follow and tune in as well. And Mrs. Letrisha, thank you again for inviting me to you guys' home. It's honestly been a pleasure. You've inspired me a little bit today. I was a little down, but I feel a lot better now. I definitely do. So thank you again.
Thank you, and I appreciate you for having me.
All right.
All right.
That's it. Not even 25 minutes.
Come on.